Hey, it's Rachel. This is my intro to my pre-op diet video. Um, I want to start by saying on my pre-op diet, my doctor says that I can have up to 4 shakes a day and then like a sensible dinner. I just can't go over 1,500 calories a day. But when I was doing my sorry, when I was doing my pre-op diet, I tried to do that, and I started having my meal as my lunch, and then I planned on having another protein shake for dinner. But then I would get to dinner and I would be like, man, I'm just so hungry, and I would just eat whatever. And so I don't think that I can allow myself to continue to have solid food, or I'm just not gonna stick to it. And so I'm gonna just do the, sorry, um, I'm gonna just do the regular liquid pre-op diet that some other people do. So I'm gonna do, protein shakes and sugar-free Jello and sugar-free puddings and broths and all that kind of stuff that I could have on liquids, because I think that it will just make it easier, and because that way I won't have to count my calories and stuff. I can just have more liquids when I'm hungry and stuff, and I think that that'll be easier for me for right now. Um, I am planning on doing a video every day and just saying, like, this is what I had, this is what I did, to kind of hold myself accountable, especially if I have a cheat day or something. I think I have to say, I did this, and be held accountable for that, and, let people know that it's not easy, or, things that you can eat or suggestions or whatever. So that's kind of my plan with that. Also, I did have my last supper or whatever today, and I know that's stupid because I know that when you get to whatever point, you can eat whatever you eat now, just in smaller portions. That is possible, but I don't know. I just can't help feeling that whole Last Supper syndrome thing. But my issue was a little bit more. It wasn't so much the food that I was like, man, I can't have this anymore. It was alcohol. And so I don't drink a lot normally, but I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to like go out and just drink anymore. And so I went a little bit overboard the last 2 weeks going out and drinking with my friends. Um, I like every weekend have gone out like once or twice a weekend. Yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, so I went and had like a pitcher of margaritas. Like I went a little overboard, I can admit that. But I just was like, I can't drink for like a year, and I really am gonna stick to that, to at least the 6 months to a year thing, because I don't need the empty calories. I don't want to deter my weight loss plans. Um, I want to hold myself accountable and do the right thing. And so I I'm not going to be able to drink for a while, and that is weird to me because I'm 21 years old, and socially that's what my friends do. Like, a lot of people talk about, oh, well, eating is such a social thing, and everybody, when they want to hang out, they want to go out to eat, and that's true. But with my friends, like, we don't even go out to eat a lot. It's like, oh, you want to hang out? Let's go to the bar. And I'm about to be like the designated DD for a year. And that's weird to me because I've been the DD for a while. I've been 21 for a month today. I've been 21 for a month today. And I cannot have liquor anymore or drink anymore after today for like a year. So that sucks. But I mean, it's fine. It's totally worth it to me. I totally think it's going to be worth it. And one thing that I struggled a lot with, and I just like a word of advice, if you are a smoker, I wasn't like a constant smoker, but sometimes I smoked cigarettes. It's particularly when I was drinking, I really smoked a lot. If you are a smoker, when you stop smoking because you can't have one the 30 days before your surgery, you also need to stop drinking. Because that was my plan, but then I was like, well, I can still drink until like my official pre-op diet, so I'll, go out and drink. Being drunk and not having a cigarette when you're used to having a cigarette when you're drunk is hard. It is so hard. I'm not kidding. Like, it is ridiculous. It was really, really hard. I had to constantly talk myself out of smoking because almost all of my friends smoke. So every time we would go out and drink, there would be all this cigarette smoke around me, and like I could smell it, I could like taste it, like in the air. It was really, really hard. So if you smoke, when you stop smoking for surgery, you need to not drink anymore because it is hard. That was probably the hardest thing like that I've encountered so far. But excuse me, but now I'm at no more liquor, no more any of that stuff, just liquids, sugar-free, low-calorie, high protein, all this kind of stuff, liquids for the next 2 weeks, because tomorrow I am 2 weeks from surgery, so that's really exciting. And another thing I've struggled with a little bit is I wasn't ever nervous about this, and lots of people keep asking me like, oh, are you nervous? Because I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking. It's major surgery, and I wasn't nervous. And then the other night I was drinking and I started really thinking about it, and I was hanging out with some of my friends in Nashville, and one of my friends there, they're going to watch my dog while I'm in the hospital, and like the week afterwards they're going to watch my dog. And so I just kept asking her, like, what if I die? Like, if I die, will you keep my dog? Like, I asked that, seriously. And before that moment, it had never really crossed my mind that that was a possibility. And I realized that it is a slim possibility, but, I mean, it's possible, and you need to be aware of that. There's all kinds of complications that could possibly happen. And I just don't want to be the person going in that's like, oh, that won't happen to me. Because I think the people who think it could never happen to them, that they would never have a complication, that's who it happens to a lot of times. So I just want to be aware, like, that could happen. There could be a complication, and just be aware so that I'm not surprised if things don't go smoothly or perfectly well or whatever. But anyways, another thing is, when I first started this journey, I talked about not knowing if I should tell people, if I should not tell people. And there is someone that I know in my life that I know that she had weight loss surgery, because there are telltale signs. I know that she had weight loss surgery. And she has chosen not to tell people about that, which I guess is fine. That's your decision. But whenever people ask her, she tells them that she just cut sugar out of her diet. That's all she did. She just cut sugar out of her diet. And she has lost probably about 150 pounds in a very short amount of time. And it's things like, if you ever see her eat, she doesn't drink with meals, eats protein first, has very small amounts, things like that. And so that it just is the typical diet of a weight loss surgery patient. And so I just decided that I hear people talk about her, and I hear people say like, well, she had weight loss surgery. I don't know why she's lying about it, and I agree with them. And so I didn't want to do that and be another person that was talked about in that way. And if people want to talk about me and say like, oh, she's having weight loss surgery, whatever, like, whatever, that's fine. If you want to talk about it, absolutely. Like, that's the decision that I made for myself. And if you are judgmental about it or disagree with it, then you're not really my friend, is the bottom line. And so I have told people about it. All of my close friends know what's going on. Everybody that I work with knows what's going on. And I'm just being really honest about it, because I'm not embarrassed. What I'm embarrassed by is my weight, and I need it to stop. And I need help, and I cannot do it on my own, and I'm not going to be embarrassed about that I need help. Because in the end, I know that I will have put in the effort and done the work to use the tool to make it work. And I also feel like it's an accountability thing. Like, if you're trying to quit smoking, or you're trying to, whatever, and you like tell people that you quit so that they can say to you when you pull out a cigarette, be like, oh, I thought you quit. So it's like an accountability thing, and it reminds you. And I'm really afraid of being unsuccessful with this surgery and like falling back into old habits and not eating the way that I should. And so I think that if I tell people about it, I know that there's going to be times when I eat things that are perfectly okay for my diet and myself, and people are going to say to me, are you sure you can eat that? Or I thought you couldn't eat things like that. and sometimes it's going to get on my nerves. But other times when I'm eating something I'm not supposed to or whatever, and somebody's going to say that to me, it's going to help me. And I'm going to be like, you know what, you're right. I'm not supposed to eat this. Or, you know, I need to be accountable. And also, like, if you tell people you're having weight loss surgery and you go through this big dramatic change, then you want to be successful because you want people to see it and be like, oh yeah, you know, that's great. So if you tell somebody you have weight loss surgery and they see you 6 months later and you're the exact same size, somebody's going to be like, oh, I thought you were having weight loss surgery. You don't want to look at them and be like, oh, I did. Like, that is embarrassing. So I'm using it as a way to hold myself accountable. So I did tell everyone in my life. I was very open about it, and people have been really supportive. My sister didn't really say anything about it. She was just kind of like, oh, I'll pray for you. And my brother and sister-in-law didn't say anything at all. They almost ignored that I said it and just kind of like moved on to another subject. So I'm not really sure how any of them feel about it. But my parents are very supportive. All of my friends are really supportive, but a lot of what I've heard, I'm sorry, let me just turn this off. A lot of what I've heard has been, I don't think that you're big. I wouldn't have thought that you're big enough to qualify for that surgery. Or when I tell people how much I weigh, they're like, oh my God, I never would have guessed that. And I just think that my weight is proportioned really well. I think that I do obviously look overweight, but I don't know that I look morbidly obese. But it's kind of a compliment to be like, oh, well, you know, I'm glad that I don't look that big, but the fact of the matter is I am that big. Like, I do weigh 260. I do, you know, like, that is real. And so, I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing because I don't know what to say back to that, and I'm just kind of like, oh, thanks. But in reality, I'm like, I do, though. Like, I do weigh that much. And I do qualify for this surgery, and I do think that I really need it, because I honestly think that if I don't do this, that by the end of the year, I easily would have been 300 pounds. Like, I put on 70 pounds since last year. And so I need this, or I'm moving up quickly, you know. So, anyways, that's what's going on. I'll be posting a video tomorrow about what I ate. I'm about to go in the kitchen and make some sugar-free Jell-O and stuff. My phone's ringing. I gotta go. But thanks for watching. Bye.